Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin on Bangor from and now the headlines as usual. Trade and tourism should be spearheads of Bench province. Vietnam's ST25 rice enters Japanese market. And later on, ancient Charm Tower announced as world record. President Nguyễn Phúc had a working session with leaders of the Mekong Delta province of Bến Tre on July the 1st. At a working session with the Standing Board of the Provincial Party Committee as part of his trip to Bến Tre, Phúc asked Bến Tre province to ensure harmonious development with trade, services and tourism being the spearheads. He pointed out challenges and limitations to the province, like severe impacts of climate change and sea level rise, high poverty rate, and poor production capacity. He asked the province to further restructure its agricultural sector, strive to adapt to climate change, consolidate value chains of agricultural products, and accelerate new-style rural area building. As a coconut kingdom, the president urged Bến Tre to preserve and develop high-quality coconut varieties, diversity products, and promote coconut cooperatives. Earlier the same day, the president pressed the button to inaugurate Thanh Hai Wind Power Plant 5 at Thanh Thoi Bi Hamlet, Thanh Hai Commune, Thanh Phu District. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on July the 1st chaired a conference to review the implementation of a party resolution on socio-economic development and ensuring security and defense in the Central Highlands. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính stressed the need for the Central Highlands region to improve the quality of human resources, especially those belonging to ethnic minority groups, and consider the task one of the breakthroughs for rapid and sustainable development. At the Central Highlands, its strategic region, its rapid and sustainable development is a responsibility for all levels, sectors, and the whole political system, the government leader noted. The Prime Minister also required the region to complete institutions and policies on regional connectivity, develop socio-economic infrastructure, and step up digital transformation. He also highlighted the importance of applying science and technology to agricultural production, increasing the development potential of clean and renewable energies and tourism, and improving the material and spiritual lives of local people. Vice President Võ Thị Ánh Xuân on July the 1st met with Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on the occasion of the former's participation of the latter's oath-taking ceremony. Vice President Võ Thị Ánh Xuân conveyed warm greetings and congratulations from President Nguyễn Phúc and Vietnamese leaders to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Xuân expressed her belief that President Marcos would lead the Philippines to more prosperous development and prosperity, affirming its important role and position in the region and the world. Regarding the relationship between the two countries, President Marcos emphasized that in addition to the political diplomatic relations, the two sides need to step up measures to promote trade and investment, especially trade in rice and other agricultural products. Marcos highly agreed to maintain cooperation in the East Sea issue for peace, stability, and security in the region. Vietnamese representatives reaffirmed their country's commitments to develop blue and sustainable oceans when attending the United Nations Ocean Conference held in Lisbon from June 27 to July the 1st.
Addressing the UN conference to support the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal 14, SDG 14, Deputy Foreign Minister Phạm Quang Hiếu emphasized the need to fully and effectively implement the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea or UNCLOS 1982. Vietnam supports negotiations to build new legal frameworks aligned with the UNCLOS, including a document on biodiversity of areas outside national jurisdiction and a global agreement on ocean plastic waste, Hiếu said. The Vietnamese delegation also called for strengthening international cooperation in marine policy planning and implementation. The UN conference attracts the participation of nearly 20 heads of state, nearly 100 foreign, environment, and natural resources ministers, among others.
The Ministry of Public Security began to use a new passport form from July the 1st, a move aiming to implement a circular by the Ministry on passport specimens.
The new passport form is printed with Vietnamese spectacular sceneries and cultural heritages, namely Hạ Long Bay, Huế Citadel, Hội An Ancient Town, Mỹ Sơn Sanctuary, Nha Rong Harbor, Lũng Cú Flag Tower, and so on. Apart from promoting the images of Vietnam to the outside world and uphold the tradition, history, geography, and culture of the country, the new passport form is expected to ensure technical safety and prevent counterfeiting. Previously issued passports are still valid until the dates of expiration, which are printed on the passports.
The Thăm Group joint stock company and Japan's Kiraboshi Bank organized a ceremony in Tokyo on June 30th to introduce SD25 rice, Vietnam's most famous rice, to Japanese customers.
To be allowed into Japan, SD25 rice with the brand name An had to pass more than 600 technical standards. It also had to satisfy the taste of Japanese people who are quite fastidious.
The introduction of the rice into the Japanese market is a major success for producers as well as businesses. I hope the volume of Vietnamese rice in the market will increase in the near future.
According to a representative from Thăm Group, the company has been focused on rice production in the Mekong Delta since 2017, consuming rice directly from farmers and contributing to improving product value and increasing farmers' incomes.
In exporting to Japan, we haven't set a target on quantity for the immediate future. Instead, we want to reach specific customers to learn and capture their needs. I hope we can find another rice product to export to this market next year.
The Santomi International Company is importing the SD25 rice, and the famous Vietnamese product is being distributed by the Spice House Company to Japanese supermarkets and stores.
SD25 rice won the title World's Best Rice in 2019, so many people want to enjoy it. We began to put the rice on sale in some stores 3 weeks ago, and so far about 8 tons have been sold.
SD25 rice has been also exported to many other markets such as Sweden and Germany. Its presence in Japan, one of the most demanding markets in the world, is testament to its quality and creates more opportunities for producers and traders.
Vietnam's consumer price index in the January to June period rose by 2.44% year-on-year, while its core inflation edged up 1.25%, according to the General Statistics Office.
The CPI was up 2.96% in the second quarter and 3.37% in June compared to the same time last year. The Statistics Office attributed the CPI hike to the increase in prices of essential consumer goods and services, materials for production, and transportation costs. The global economic recovery, the increasing demand for raw materials and fuel for production, and the disruption in supply chains are main reasons behind the sharp surge of commodity prices on the international market. The office said prices of petrol and gas in the second quarter increased by 55% and 31% year-on-year, causing the overall CPI to rise by 1.98 and 0.45 percentage points respectively. Meanwhile, prices of education services, housing rental, and pork saw a considerable decline, helping push the CPI down.
A forum to promote trade cooperation between Vietnam and Belgium took place in Brussels on June 28th as one of the main economic events between two countries held after a long hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Introducing strengths of Wallonia and Flanders regions, High Commissioners for Economy and Trade of the Belgian localities said enterprises from Vietnam and Belgium both see potential to collaborate in biotechnology, infrastructure development, aquaculture, green growth, support and logistics, among others.
Vietnam has risen to stardom as a production center in the region. We have many opportunities to expand cooperation in Vietnam in food industry and mobile phone.
The Belgium-Vietnam Trade and Investment Promotion Forum will create favorable conditions for both sides to get a better insight into cooperation opportunities as well as investment trends in Vietnam and Belgium.
We come here to discuss cooperation in digital data, high-tech agriculture, and logistics with Belgian partners.
Vietnam and Belgium has become strategic partners in agriculture. The two-way trade reached a record of nearly $3.8 billion in 2021. The trade in the January-May period this year hit over $2.1 billion, up over 40% year-on-year. Belgium is now the fifth largest partner of Vietnam in EU, while Vietnam is the second biggest partner of the European country in ASEAN. By the end of May, Belgium has 81 valley projects in Vietnam, with a total registered capital of nearly $1.1 billion.
A small square in the center of the 16th arrondissement of Paris now bears the name of Do Hữu Vi, a Vietnamese national who was one of the first pilots of the French army.
Do Hữu Vi Square is located on the intersection between Versailles Avenue and Quai Louis Blériot, overlooking the Radio France headquarters and Genève Bridge. V, 1883 to 1916, fought and died in the Somme Bay during World War I. He was honored by France as one of more than 300 people of diaspora with meritorious services to the European nation. He was the only representative of Asian descent to be included in the exhibition Portraits de France at the Musée de l'Homme in Paris earlier this year. There are currently about 200 trees and landmarks in France named after Vietnamese places or people.
Vietnam is emerging as the good option for Kiwi exporters looking to diversify where they sell their goods, said New Zealand's Newswire onenews.co.nz in a recent article.
In April 2001, the tower was discovered in the coastal sand dunes of Phu Dien Camille, Phu Vang district. It is buried in the sand from 5 to 7 meters under the ground. The overall view of the building is a rectangular architectural block that gets smaller towards the top. It is one of the earliest remaining charm brick structures in the central region, dating back to around the 8th century. With such values, the tower, accredited as a national architecture and art relic since December 2001, earned these record recognitions by both the Vietnam Records Organizations, Vietgames, and the World Records Union, Workings this year.
Thousands of visitors went to watch a paragliding tournament held recently at the Ta Dung National Park in Dak Som Commune, Dak Long District, Dak Nông Province.
The tournament was organized by the Dak Nông Department of Cultural, Sports and Tourism in collaboration with the Phu Cuong Tourist Service and Tourism Yard Star Company and the Vietnam Tourism and Sports Yard Star Company. It was attended by 100 professional paragliders from 12 clubs around Vietnam who competed in the main event, a precise landing. The two other events are freestyle flying and flying with a motor.
I came here from Đà Lạt to paraglide. This has only been available in the north of the country, but now we can do it here. I just finished a flight and feel great.
I have been paragliding in many countries. This is the first time flying in Dak Nông Province. The scenery here is so beautiful.
The paragliding tournament was an opportunity for Dak Nông Province to introduce images of local nature, culture, and people to domestic and foreign friends. It also hopes to create a popular paragliding destination at Ta Dung National Park.
Let's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching. See you next time.